Winning Blueprint presents.
In the lab room. New England Patriots.
I was once told by a wise man, all good things must come to an end. Man, truer words were never spoken. And I tell you what, when you're on that ride and you're in the midst of it and it's going on, man, it's so fun, it's so exhilarating, and you just never want it to end. And when it finally does, you seem incomplete. You feel like there was so much more left to be accomplished. But yet, you can't. It's done. It's finished. Sometimes you feel fulfilled. Sometimes you don't. That's how I feel about the New England Patriots. I feel like the jig is starting to be up. Don't you feel like the Patriots are starting to run its course? They're no longer the dominant team that a lot of teams around the league fear. Their home dominance is over. Remember, at one point they had won something like 18 straight road games, and it was almost impossible to go into Gillette and win a game. It was damn near impossible to go into Gillette in December and win a game. Oh, forget about that. But now it's just like it used to be the New England Patriots. Now it's just New England Patriots. And they're not striking the fear in the hearts of opponents like they used to. I'll give you a prime example. The Arizona Cardinals waltzed into Gillette Stadium, into Foxborough, in week 2. Patriots haven't lost a home opener in God knows when. The Patriots lose to the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals walk out of Gillette Stadium with a 2-point victory. Who saw that coming? When do the Arizona Cardinals beat the Patriots, let alone in Foxborough? I think the last time the Cardinals were in New England, the score was like 48-7. That might have been at halftime. So that just gives you an idea of just how bad it's gotten for New England. And look, I'm talking from an extreme point of view. It's not like this team is 6-10 or something. They still won 12 games. They still got a first-round bye in the postseason. But it's not the same. No one's afraid of this team. They don't strike fear in your hearts. They don't make you cringe when you say, oh man, I got to play the Patriots. And I got to go to New England to do it. That's not the case anymore. They're still the top dogs in their division, but for how long? They've got people nipping at their ankles. And look, this division was terrible in 2012. The Patriots reigned supreme over this division and didn't really encounter much resistance in doing it. But these teams are slowly gaining ground. Even though it doesn't say it in the standings, they're slowly gaining ground, and these divisional games are becoming tougher and tougher for the New England Patriots. And so, tell you what, this era of Brady, Belichick, and winning and the Patriot way is winding down. And I don't know when the end is. Right now, you're in the tunnel, and the light is way at the end of the tunnel. It's faint. You can barely see it. But that light is at the end of the tunnel. And I'm here to tell you, that light is not daylight. It's not the end of the tunnel. It's a train that's rapidly approaching. And if you're the New England Patriots, You must get off the track before that train smacks you right in the face and runs you over. And with that being said, I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me for the lab follow-up of the New England Patriots. And again, this is an extreme point of view that I'm coming with. My glass is still half full for the New England Patriots. I don't think they're done yet. They have a lot of things that they need to clean up. But if this thing is to turn around and the Patriots are to get back to being one of the most dominant teams in the National Football League, they're going to have to change some of their ways. Right now, I think they're stuck in their ways because it's worked for them so many times in the past that they don't know how to do it any other way. They feel like you either conform to us or you hit the highway. But that's the problem now. That's not working anymore. You're getting rid of talented guys. And really, you're starting to become frugal. They're starting to become a stigma with being a New England Patriot. And look, the veterans will always want to play for Belichick. Always. Like you heard Ed Reed say, I'd love to play for the Patriots. He's a veteran. He's been to the Pro Bowl with Bill Belichick. There's admiration and respect there. But if you're a free agent and you see what they're doing to Wes Welker, look, don't you for 1 second think that other teams, other agents aren't looking at what the Patriots are doing to Wes Welker right now, what they're potentially thinking about doing to Brandon Lloyd. Don't you dare think that the agents, for those handlers, for those players, aren't telling their clients, look, man, New England is notorious for lowballing their players. If they don't have to pay you, they won't. They'll string you along, use you up until they think you're done, and then they'll move you out of there. And by then, you would have missed your window of opportunity to get paid. You can't be loyal in the National Football League because a lot of franchises don't reciprocate that loyalty back. So don't think for 1 second that other guys around the league aren't taking notice. They saw what the Patriots did to Richard Seymour. They saw what the Patriots did to Asante Samuel. They see what the Patriots are doing with Wes Welker. They see what the Patriots might potentially be doing with Brandon Lloyd. You don't want to end up like that. Everyone wants to be paid and compensated the way that they should. You need not look any further than how long it took Tom Brady to get his money. They really wanted to lowball Tom Brady, and they really tried to talk him into taking less money until Tom had to say, look, man, I'm Tom Brady. You've got Super Bowl trophies in the cabinet upstairs because of me and what I was able to help this team do. Stop jerking me around. Pay me my money. And he said it in the most nicest way possible. And I know what the Patriots were trying to do. They were trying to make sure that they set precedents. Look, if we'll do it to Tom Brady, we'll do it to you. No one's different in the locker room. And whatever Tom Brady is making, no one's making more than him. I get it. Fine. Whatever. Look, at the end of the day, guys go out on the field and perform for you. They need to be compensated. And I'm really talking about Wes Welker here. 5 out of the last 6 seasons, Wes Welker has caught over 100 passes. Pay the man. He's not running out of gas. He's only 31 years old. There's a lot left in Wes Welker. He's going to catch many, many more passes. You want it to be in a New England Patriots uniform, but if you don't want to pay him, allow him to move on. Simple as that. But if you're the Patriots and you want to start winning, you can't be cheap. Let's talk about the 2012 season, though. Let's talk about the 2012 season. The New England Patriots started this season out 3-3. And I just told you that they had an egregious loss at home to the Arizona Cardinals in their home opener. When's the last time that's happened? It looked like, hey, wait a minute. Are these the same Patriots? You had to take a step back. They lose 2 straight, which is foreign to the New England Patriots. When did the Patriots lose 2 straight? So now you're thinking, hey, wait a minute. These Patriots could be in some trouble. The Buffalo Bills had an opportunity to really put a nail in the coffin, bury the New England Patriots. They were up 21-7, had an opportunity to put them away. C.J. Spiller fumbles going into the end zone before the half. Patriots recover. Game's never the same. Patriots end up blowing out the Buffalo Bills, scoring 35 unanswered points, beating them 52-28. And they got back on track. They lose the next week in Seattle, but that's of no concern to the Patriots, as after that loss in Seattle, they ran off their next 9 out of 10 and got to 12-4 in the season and earned a first-round bye. Hey, how about that? And the only loss in that 9 out of 10 stretch was to San Francisco in what was a classic game where the Patriots fell behind by a ton, roared back, tied the game, only to lose by a touchdown, 41-34. So that was a classic. So you thought the Patriots were poised to make another run, but if you've been watching this team all season long, you knew that they're not quite that dominant team that is poised to make a run in the postseason. Never thought for 1 second that the Patriots were the dominant alpha male, the preeminent team in the AFC playoffs in 2012. I always thought it was Denver. And I said, the one team that the New England Patriots don't want to play, Baltimore Ravens, hands down. Because if there's one team in the league, even when the Patriots were dominant, if there's one team in the league that is not afraid of the Patriots, it's the Baltimore Ravens. If there's one team that has the Patriots number, Baltimore Ravens. If there's one team that isn't afraid to go into Foxborough and beat the New England Patriots, you guessed it, Baltimore Ravens. I remember very vividly 3-4 seasons ago. I want to say it was wild card weekend. Might have been the divisional round. But I'm pretty sure it was wild card weekend. Ravens stroll into Foxborough. First play of the game, Ray Rice rips off a 75, 80-yard run for a touchdown. En route to like a 27-7 domination of the Patriots. I mean, they thoroughly dismantled piece by piece by piece the New England Patriots. Took them apart. Embarrassed them at home. By the third quarter, I think the stadium was half empty. This Ravens team does not care that the New England Patriots are a dominant football team. They just don't. And so, the one team the Patriots didn't want to play, Baltimore Ravens. And it just so happens that Denver lost to the Ravens. Patriots beat Houston. And look, we knew the Patriots were going to beat the Texans. The Patriots are head and shoulders above the Houston Texans. They proved it in the regular season. They proved it again in the playoffs. So they trounced them like they were supposed to. And again, much credit is given to the Patriots. I think we take the Patriots for granted because they're such a good football team. We expect them to do things, and we hold them to a higher standard than a lot of other teams in the league. And so I think we really need to take a step back, and it probably won't happen until this whole dynasty, this whole era, this whole mystique of Brady and Belichick is over with, and we have time to really sit back and reflect and analyze it. I think only then will this be put in its proper perspective. I think that the Patriots are a team that everyone loves to hate, and they give you every reason not to like them. I mean, Bill Belichick's behavior after the loss to the Ravens in the championship game, classic Bill Belichick, classic New England Patriots. Tom Brady kicking in the groins, classic Patriots. It's what the Patriots do. It's why they're the bad guys in the National Football League. If you're not a Patriots fan, then you probably don't like the New England Patriots. There's some people that are indifferent, but that's the minority. There's not a lot of people or fans of the league that don't have disdain for the Patriots. Every sport needs a villain, and the New England Patriots fit that to a T in the National Football League. They're a polarizing team. Either you love them or you hate them. Either you want to see them succeed or you want to see them fail. And I think that we hold them to a higher standard, but that's what happens when you're a team that is drenched in excellence. When it becomes the norm for you to win, people expect you to win. They don't want to see you win because you win all the time. And so I'm one of those that takes the Patriots for granted sometimes. And every now and again, I got to pinch myself, take a step back, remove myself from the situation and realize, man, this Patriots team is really good. This offense is a well-oiled machine. And when it is lubed up and the pieces are all fluid and moving in unison, they're impossible to stop. But in this game against the Ravens did the one thing that you have to do to quarterbacks like Tom Brady, like Peyton Manning, the quarterbacks that don't run anywhere, that won't move. You know exactly where to find them. You know their address. It's right behind the center. It doesn't change. It doesn't fluctuate. You know where you're going to find Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And when you're able to get them off of their spot, force them into mistakes, make them antsy, make them have happy feet, make them throw the football before they're ready, make them uncomfortable. That's when you can beat a team like the Patriots, a team like the Denver Broncos, a team like the Indianapolis Colts when Peyton Manning was the quarterback. Because these quarterbacks need space and time to operate. And if you take any of those away, they have problems. And that's what the Ravens did. They got Brady off his spot. They made him uncomfortable. They forced him into some interceptions, some mistakes, some bad throws. They took advantage. They won the football game. It's really simple. That running game that the Patriots had all season long abandoned them. Brady wasn't able to get it going. And this defense that had been shoddy all season long finally couldn't stand up to the heat that was in the kitchen. And a lot of times that heat was alleviated by this Patriots offense. Well, the offense needed the defense to step up this time and they couldn't do it. Ravens got it done. They move on to the Super Bowl. We know what happens next. Patriots go home, and now they have questions to answer. So you look at the Patriots, and I think your first overall order of business is Wes Welker. I mean, what else could it be? He needs to be paid. You need Wes Welker. I hate when the Patriots try to act as if they don't need players. No player is bigger than this team. Yes, I get it. Tom Brady is bigger than this team. You take Tom Brady off this team, you're a 6-10 football team right now. And don't hand me that Matt Castle garbage, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if you take a Mark Sanchez and put him on your team, you take a Matt Hasselbeck, put him on your team, you take a Matt Flynn, put him on your team, you take a Matt Leinart, put him on your team. This is not a 12-win football team. Okay? Only an elite quarterback would have this team at 12-4. Only an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Drew Brees would have this team at 12-4. This team isn't a 12-4 football team without Tom Brady. Hey, you put in any quarterback you want. Andrew Luck, have him. Andrew Luck was a turnover machine at times this season. Brady only threw 8 interceptions on the season. You take one of these up-and-coming rookies, slide them in New England, you're not a 12-4 football team. So don't hand me that nonsense either. You need Wes Welker. Another season, 118 catches. Are you serious? Whether it's 116, 118, 123, the man is producing huge numbers for you. You know when you were struggling and you started the season off 2-3? You know why? Wes Welker wasn't getting the football. You know why he wasn't getting the football? Because you wanted to see if you could phase him out of the offense, make him a part of your offense that was non-existent and unimportant so that you could lowball him, bring his value down on the market, and get him to come back to you at a bargain basement deal. When you realize, hey, we need Wes Welker, we have to stop playing around, stop trying to minimize his role in our offense and get him the football, then you started winning games. And then you won 9 out of your last 10 games. So the importance is there. And I don't want to hear that Wes Welker won't flourish with another team. If he gets on the right team with the right quarterback and the right system, Wes Welker will continue to catch 80-plus balls every season. Simple as that. You need Wes Welker more than Wes Welker needs you. Trust me on this one. Because he can go somewhere else and flourish. You don't have another Wes Welker on your team. And don't try to talk to me about Julian Edelman. He's not Wes Welker. Trust me. Brandon Lloyd, another guy that almost gave you 1,000 yards receiving. Had over 70 catches. You need to re-sign Brandon Lloyd. The Patriots are delusional. Where's your talent at receiver? Any takers? Who do you have at receiver? Deion Branch? How many times are you going to bring him back off the street? This isn't 2006. Deion Branch isn't an elite receiver anymore. He's not even a viable option anymore. Why do you think you keep cutting him loose? Stop it. So what else you got? Jabbar Gaffney, maybe? He lasted, what, 2 seconds with you? What are you going to call Dante Stallworth again and re-sign him again for the 5th time? Stop it. You need receiving help. So the ones that you already had, you can't let them walk away. And if you want to be bullheaded, let these guys walk and then go draft you a couple of receivers. Good luck with them coming in and picking up where Wes Welker and Brandon Lloyd left off. This Patriots way thing has to stop, or at least you need to modify it. You can still have the Patriot way. You can have your cake and still eat it too. But you need to modify. Maybe you just need to take the icing off the top of the cake. Maybe you have diabetes and you just need to take the icing off the top to minimize the amount of sugar that you're having. But you can't have it be your way all the time. Sometimes you got to relent. And I think this is one of those times where you just need to give in and give Wes Welker his just due. Now, you move on to the rest of this team. Another question. Will Bill Belichick ever get this defense back to where he wants it to be? I swear it's been about 3 or 4 seasons now. Bill Belichick has been trying to get this defense back to the glory days when his defense was in the top 10, in the top 5. When Willie McGinnis and Teddy Bruschi and Mike Vrabel were out there harassing opposing quarterbacks, outsmarting them, picking them off, causing and creating havoc for the opposing offense. Those days are long gone. Now, this defense is a bend but don't break defense. You were 25th in the league, and Bill Belichick has a young group. This team is loaded with young talent on the defensive side of the football. Your linebacking core could stay together for the next 7 years if the Patriots were able to keep them intact. Chandler Jones looks like a player. Vince Wilfork, don't know how much he has left in the tank, but he's still a viable option at defensive tackle for you. You just drafted Jake Bequette out of Arkansas. I'm pretty sure at some point he'll find his way onto the field like a Mike Vrabel did, like a Rob Ninkovich did, and somehow he'll end up with 9.5 sacks, and you'll go, hey, where did this guy come from? There's stuff everywhere on this defense, but it's all young. You even look in the secondary at Alfonso Dennard and Devin McCourty. It's all young. This defense is young, and so there's mistakes to be made. And that's why you were 25th in the league. But I tell you what, for all the mistakes that this defense makes, they force turnovers. And that's why the Patriots were so good in 2012, because they were plus 25 in the turnover differential. Tops in the National Football League. You get turnovers and you give it back to your offense that's as prolific as Tom Brady and his New England Patriots offense, who is number 1 in the league again. You're going to score points, and the Patriots led the league in points scored again with over 34 points a game. You're going to win a lot of football games. Plus 25 is a gigantic, enormous number in the scheme and the scale of turnover ratio. And you get it turned over that many times, give it back to your offense, you're not going to lose many games, and that's why the Patriots were able to win 12 games this season. But make no mistake about it. When you're playing against Buffalo and the Jets with Mark Sanchez and the Bills with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the Dolphins with the rookie quarterback and Ryan Tannehill, that's 6 games right there. When you're playing against that kind of trash, you're going to force turnovers. And keep in mind that Patriots had one of the easiest schedules in the National Football League. So they had opportunities to get it done. And they got it done against some bad football teams. So make no mistake about it. This New England Patriots team did what they had to do on defense. And now, they weren't perfect. They gave up some plays, gave up some points, they gave up yardage. But at the end of the day, they forced turnovers and they got the job done. But when you get to the postseason, there are no more Jets. There are no more Bills. There are no more Dolphins. There's no more St. Louis Rams for you to beat up on. It's just the Ravens. It's just the Broncos. It's just the Texans. It's just good football teams. And so, all of a sudden now, all those turnovers you were getting before, they stop. They cease because those teams don't turn it over like the Bills, like the Jets do. They're not willing to give you 3 turnovers in a game. They're going to take care of the football and make you earn it. And if you can't stop them defensively without forcing turnovers, you could be in trouble. And when your team, your offense that was #1 in the league, starts turning it over themselves, you get that playoff game against the Ravens. And you get an exit home for the rest of the season. So, looking at this Patriots team in the offseason, we talked about Walker. We talked about possibly losing Brandon Lloyd as well. How about Sebastian Vollmer? Will he be back? Patriots being cheap again. Don't want to pay a quality right tackle. Starting right tackle money. I don't know what he's asking for. And he's a guy that's injured sometimes, but he's a good right tackle. And it seems to me the Patriots are able to plug in guys and get production out of them. But Brady being 35 years old means he needs to be upright. And you can't just plug in anyone and entrust them to protect Tom Brady. You need to make sure that your tackles and that offensive line is solidified. So if there's any problems along that offensive line, they need to be addressed first and foremost. After you take care of Wes Welker. After you take care of Brandon Lloyd. Then you need to be looking at cornerback. Because you got some production out of Alfonso Dennard. And McCourty moved from corner to safety. You went and got Aqib Talib, but you're afraid of locking him up with a long-term deal. Now that I don't blame you for. He didn't cause any problems in New England, but we know his past history. We know his mom is a problem, and so you're not sure if you can trust him with money. I don't blame you on that one. You have to do all of your due diligence in making sure that that's the right move to make. I get it, but you need cornerback help too. You parted ways with Darius Butler. You're going to have to find guys that can play at the cornerback position. So looking at the Patriots, you got to ask yourself, how many years does Brady have left? Now, I'm not saying that the level of play has dropped off because he's still playing at a high level. But how many years does he have left? That's the question. Because once Brady goes, so goes this era of Patriots football. The Patriot mystique is gone. And I don't know how much he has left in the tank, but I haven't seen many quarterbacks play at a high level past the age of 38. So if those calculations are anywhere close, you've got about a good 3 seasons of Tom Brady playing at an elite level. You need to take full advantage of him, and that means you need to patch up any holes that you have on this team and make a run for it while you still can. Wide receiver, clean it up. Bring those guys back. Offensive line, make sure it's stout because you can't have Tom Brady on his back. Tom Brady is not Tom Brady when he's not standing up. And you need to shore up your secondary. Cornerbacks, I don't know if you got the production out of Steve Gregory like you thought you were going to. Figure it out. Fix your secondary because your front seven is set. You're getting production out of Ninkovich. Chandler Jones looks like a player. Will Fork is still playing some good football. Dedrick is giving you some solid play as well as Love. And so you're set in the front seven. You just need more help in the secondary. And you need to change your mental approach to paying your players. Because Wes Welker shouldn't have to fight tooth and nail to get paid. For as much as he's done for this franchise, he's been a big enough part of this franchise over the last 5-6 seasons to get paid. I mean, he shouldn't have to do what he's doing now to be compensated for his performances as a New England Patriot. And so we will see what the Patriots do. But I tell you what, all good things must come to an end. And if the Patriots don't find a way to solve all of these questions that surround their team. And look, Rob Gronkowski is going to be Rob Gronkowski. He's going to go out. He's going to go party. He's going to take his shirt off. He's going to put people in headlocks. He's going to do a lot of dumb things. I think sometimes we forget that these guys are young men. They're 21, they're 22, they're 23, they're 24. A lot of mistakes are still left to be made. They're still immature in some regards. Everyone doesn't mature at the same age. And Rob Gronkowski is a guy that likes to go out and party. He loves the nightlife. He's not going out and assaulting anyone. He's not raping anyone. He's not driving home drunk. He's just having a good time, and the Patriots are embarrassed by it. Yeah, he does some things that are a little over the top, a little eccentric, but at the end of the day, it's his prerogative. He does what he wants. The Patriots have a problem with it. They need to address it with Rob Gronkowski, but I tell you what, if I'm him, you don't tell me how to spend my time off the field as long as I'm getting it done on the field. And Rob Gronkowski has been one of your best players over the last 2 or 3 seasons. So I don't know what needs to be done there. All I know is the Patriots need to go about their offseason in the right manner if they are to get back to the Super Bowl and contend as a team that wants to win as this era of Patriots football starts to wind down. And that'll do it for the New England Patriots here on their L.A.B follow-up. I think with that 29th selection in the draft, I think you need to draft a receiver. If you're thinking about cutting Wes Welker and Brandon Lloyd loose, you don't have, and even if you keep them, you don't have any depth at receiver. You need a receiver. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. You need a receiver with that first pick in the first round. So that'll do it for the New England Patriots. Join me tomorrow when we complete another double header as we talk about the 30th and 31st teams to select in the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. So come back, join me tomorrow when we'll be talking about those two teams and how their seasons ended and what they need to do moving forward. I thank you for joining me here on the L.A.B follow-up. Have a good one.
New England Patriots.